What I'm against is dependence. There's somebody called Makami who has written a beautiful book, Dependent Independence. And I am saying that knowing as we do that these structures are designed from outside, is it not the right time for us now to ensure that we begin to create things which can take care of our affairs? This is exactly why the Chinese cannot be ignored, because the Chinese are creating their own monetary systems. If you come to a continent of Africa, out of the 55 countries or 54, depending on who you are talking to, we have 33 currencies. Why should we have 33 currencies? Why shouldn't we move towards a single currency? Why can't we, as the continent of Africa, have our own card system? Today, if I want to travel to Nigeria and I'm applying for a visa in Nairobi, I have to pay using a Visa card. Nearly 90% of transactions in Africa are terminated in the dollar. As long as we do that, we are weak. And I'm saying that we are 1.4 billion of us. And these are the things that we ought to address to ensure that we have greater intra-African trade, that we have greater connectivity, which is African bound. If you look at the major mobile telephony companies in Africa today, aside from MTN in South Africa, by whatever name called, is either Orange, which is French, or is Tigo, or it is Vodafone, which is British, so that even this assumption that mobile telephony penetration is Africa is deluding ourselves. Where do we have something that is generated in Africa? The South Africans can do that, the Kenyans can do that, the Nigerians can do that. So research and innovation and research and development is something that we ought to invest in. Look at what happened to us during the COVID pandemic. We called it vaccine apartheid because we were either waiting for Moderna or waiting for Pfizer or waiting for Sinovac. Why couldn't we? And I remember, Dr. Folefak will know this better than I, that the people of Madagascar, through the Malagasy Institute of Applied Science, came up with something called COVID Organic. Whether it was efficacious or not, I do not know. But I would have expected African universities and institutes of research to say, you have something here. Why don't we look at it so that we come up with an African vaccine? And you can go into every sector, whether it's in the pharmaceuticals, whether it's in the military arena, whether it is in the economic arena. We are consumers of what we do not produce, and that cannot be good. Today, you go to test yourself for PCR test. The kits are either from the United Kingdom or the United States or from China. But look at little Cuba, sanctioned since the 1940s. And that sanction environment has now become a breeding ground for innovation. I'm not saying that they don't have their problems, but it has told them that you cannot rely on your brother or your sister to be your keeper. We Africans must stop thinking that we have people out there who are subscribing to the message of Jesus Christ to love their enemies and to love their neighbors. There are no such people. They just see us as meat on the table to be consumed. And the sooner we realize that, the safer we are. And one may ask, but we are not in government, what can we do? History has demonstrated not once, not twice, that governments are changed through consistent agitation by the people. Dr. Folefak talked about the changes that took place during Nicolae Ceausescu's Romania. It is the people who rose up. We know what happened with the Berlin Wall. We know what happened with the former Yugoslavia. We know what happened with Czechoslovakia. We know what happened with the Balkan states. We know what happened in South Africa during the Sharpeville and the Soweto massacre. We know what is happening, what happened with Omar el-Bashir. We know what is happening in Ambazonia. It is the people themselves who are rising. And what we are saying is that if people are organized and their ability to organize is sustained, then they can change. The only thing that we must know is that there are no instant coffee solutions, no instant changes, no microwave solutions. Sometimes these things will take a century. Ours is to play our part and to speak even when it appears that nobody is listening, but let the message go out clearly, unequivocally, and consistently. And I think that is what we need to do going forward.